Now we're ready, after the second whole movement, to do the third whole movement, which is a movement of the legs. We begin to incorporate the motions of the legs, and we go from the natural elongation of the leg to one at a time bended to a placement called natural bended legs, which is a very important placement. But the movement is called interchanging balance. And I would like to do it, and then as I show it to you, then after, we can break it apart so we understand the details and the nuances within the motion. Before I begin to practice this third movement, it's important that the last frame of this perpetual motion of the last four movements become the next frame of the engagement of the left leg. So I'm going to go to the last movement, which is moon and the lower diagonal, which is and then come back to moon, and then descending, and then I'm going to incorporate the beginning of the motion of the legs. So you can see how you begin in your practice to think of one movement interconnected within the other without the losing of any specific frame. So 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm going to go to the moon, to do the last movement of the second whole movement. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, lower diagonal, 1, 2, 3, that's the moon, descending, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, left leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, right leg, 2, 3, 4, left leg extend, 2, 3, 4, right leg extend, 2, 3, 4, right leg bend, 2, 3, 4, left leg 1, 2, 3, symmetry, right leg extend, 2, 3, 4, left leg extend, 2, 3, 4, left leg bend, 2, 3, 4, right leg bend, 2, 3, natural bending legs. Now, as the legs begins to bend, one leg at a time, it begins with the left leg, and then the right leg comes together, and then when they come together, they come to a place called natural bended knees, natural bended legs. And it's a diamond. If you see it from here, it's a diamond. It has like maybe 4 inches between your heels and 6 inches between your toes, or 8 inches between your toes. And what this diamond does is it centralizes the hip joint. It clarifies the centralization of the hip. At the same time that it provides the transversal relationships between legs and opposite arm. This is important because remember that actually we practiced that motion when we were sitting in the chair in 0-point balance. Then we talk about the diamond connecting in the floor, and we say that there were 4 different extremes in this placement. So you will notice that in natural bended knees, if you go too far away, the lower back will begin to create pressure upon you. And if you come too close to you, the solar plexus closes to you. So it's a balance of distance in the natural bended knees, natural bended legs. And then if you open too much, then it creates a compression in the lumbar area. If you open too little and it's parallel, then you're losing the spiral nature and the connection of muscles through the skeleton. So you can explore this by your own, and you can see how the extremes feel in you. We're just giving you the center right now, and you can utilize the center the best that you experience it, or as I said, you can go to the extremes. All right? Now, when we do the motion, the first movement, you bend in the left leg to come back to natural bended knees. And the way you bend in the leg is that you bring in the foot, the lower leg and the upper leg together at the same time to come back to natural bended knees. The reason I say that, because in the beginning, the tendency will be that you want to grab the muscle of your thigh to bring your leg up. And we don't want to contract the body to lift it. We wanted to move it. And in this particular situation, we move it from the farthest distance, which is your feet. So the farthest distance is your feet. The second farthest distance is the lower leg. And the third farthest distance is your thigh, the upper leg. So from the foot, you bring in back into natural bended knees, and then you bring in the other one, and you arrive to natural bended legs. Now, when you are in natural bended legs, you will know, as we said earlier, if you press a little bit with your feet in the floor, your hip can come out of the floor very, very, very easily. So you will notice that if you're too far away, a little bit like that, you have to press down with your legs to go up. And you know that when you're balanced, you never have to go down to go up. You're already up. So that's something very, very important to understand. You can check yourself if you are in the placement because you're already ready to lift the hip. Yeah? Now, when you elongate the legs, so you bend in the left, you bend in the right, you're extending the left, and then you're extending the right, and you're arriving to the same place you started. So this we consider to be a set of movement. The left bend, the right bend, the left extend, the right extend. Now the second set, instead of repeat the movement again with the left, it begins with the same leg that you have extended. So you finish the last fourth extension with the right leg, and you bend in it again from the right, and you continue with the left. You arrive to symmetry, you extend the right, and then you extend the left, and you finish the second set, and now you go left, and you do it right. You do it for a total of 10 times, and you arrive to the place of natural bended legs. The reason that we just don't go mechanical left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, is because we wanted to avoid the mind to become mechanical. So in order for you to pay attention that you are connected to it, the way you do the movement from the beginning is you start bending the left, and then bending the right, and you're right to symmetry right here, and then you're extending the left, and you're extending the right, and you're right to symmetry, and now you go right, and then you bend in the left, 3 and 4. You're right symmetry, and you extend in the right, 3, 4, and you extend in the left. And this is the number 8, and now you go left, number 9 time, and this is the 10th, and you're ready to go to start the next movement. Okay? Wonderful. We're changing the angle in order for you to have another perspective. And I would like to also assist you in understanding that when you bend in the left leg, remember you start the movement and you bend in the left leg, sometimes when you practice and you arrive to this place of the natural bended knees and you are asymmetrical, spend a few seconds here to make sure that it has the legs have equal importance. So the left, as it is here, has the same importance that the other leg. So it's not that I just, all of a sudden I went to this leg and I abandoned the right one. It's that you are half and half. Even though one is bent and the other one is extended, you are still equally balanced. So now when you bring in the right leg from the left becomes the point of reference from which the right arrives, and you're arriving to the moment of symmetry, right there. And then from then on, the right leg becomes the point of reference from which the left becomes extended. And then when you're right here, it's good for you to experience again that you are equal, that you are even. It's not that you are one more leg than the other one. Also, at any one moment, you can just lift the pelvis to make sure that you are in the center. So even though you are extending the leg, and one is bent and one is extended, you are still symmetrically balanced. Yeah? So this is important because you begin to understand, okay, I'm going from symmetry to asymmetry, but the movement always has the same importance, so I don't drop the hip or I don't overdo one extension to the expenses of the other one. Also, when you're extending the leg, one leg at a time, don't think about that you have to lift the leg to extend it too much right now. Extend it just naturally through the floor. It's like giving your leg away through the floor. And then the extension of the leg becomes the point of reference to the other leg. See, right there. And then in that moment you are symmetrical, and from the next moment you're returning back into a symmetry, and you're returning. And then any once in a while from here, you can bring yourself back if you need to. Check to see, here I am. My head is between my legs, right here, my pelvis. I'm perfectly symmetrical. This is my shoulders, this is my throat, this is my head, this is the crown, and I'm going to extend the leg from the crown. Don't think that you're just going to extend the leg from the leg only. Don't think about, okay, now I'm just extending my leg. Remember that your leg comes from your spine. So when you're extending your leg, you're releasing your spine. Actually, my leg begins at the crown. So when I bend in the leg, I'm bending it from all this upper area of the spine. See, I'm engaging myself internally as I'm moving. I'm avoiding just to bring one leg up and extend the other leg. I'm avoiding mechanical movement, which is a little bit like two-dimensional, coming back and extend, and I'm uniting the motion by giving it direction and by interconnecting the legs to the spine. Wonderful. Continuing now with the third whole movement. The next movement, the legs remain in natural bended legs, and we're going to do 3 movements that is called the cross of space, and I'm going to show it to you, and then again we'll do it and explaining all the different nuances. All right, so we start in natural bended knees because that's the way we ended the interchanging balance of the legs. So this is number 10, arriving here, the last 10, and we go 5, 6, 7, 8, we go to moon, 2, 3, and 4, and the moon continue to the sun. And sun, we spend 4 counts. 3, 4, we return to moon, 3, 4, and we are descending back into foundation. 3, 8 counts. We go back to moon, and moon transform itself into horizon. And you have 4 counts passing through. 3, 4, you return back into the moon. 3, 4, and we're descending back into foundation. 6, 7, 8, we go back to moon. 3, 4, and the moon will become suspended diamond. 2, 3, 4, it completes itself into moon, and it descends back. 6, 6, 7, and you arrive into neutral, and 8.